Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours, I am your host, Jermaine Lockett, and we are back here on the Couch Rider Report podcast, folks. I want to thank those who kept this thing going when I wasn't. Shout out to Damian Parson. Shout out to Marvin Neighbors. Shout out to all of those behind the scenes, constantly keeping me motivated to get this thing up and rolling again. Here we are, back on the YouTube channel, back on video, trying to get this thing on and popping. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're talk about those Colts and what Malik Hooker brings to their secondary, and if he has any help. Sometimes people bring that one chess piece in thinking that's going to be savior of their team. But, things happen to fall off. We got to see what's going on. We'll get into that. Then we're going to talk about the new rule, the celebration dances. And I have some homework for you guys. We'll get into that. And then we're going to get into this Eagles situation. Everybody thinks that the Eagles are not good enough to take the East. I think they're competitive. We'll talk about that. Let's jump right in, people. I talked about sponsors at this particular point, but we don't have any. So if you try to sponsor this particular show, let me know. Y'all get at me at Jermaine Lockett at CouchRiderReport.net. Very simple. It should be on the screen. I'll make sure it gets there. You send me that email, we'll talk business. But right now, let's get into it. This is about the fans. This ain't about sponsorship or anything like that. I'm trying to make no money at the moment, just trying to have some fun and talk about some sports. Let's jump on them Colts. I got a lot of Colts friends out there who want Chuck Pagano gone. I say bring him back to Baltimore, honestly, because the guy has a lot of passion. He has a lot of fuel, and he knows how to run a defense. Most of the time, these defensive coordinators turned coaches don't know how to run an entire team because it takes away from what they know best. The one thing that they have to concentrate on mostly when they're a defensive coordinator, they have to concentrate on an entire team now. When you're concentrating on an entire team, things tend to fall off, especially with the defense with the Indianapolis Colts. And that's why they ended up going after Malik Hooker in the draft, because they were just absolutely terrible. And when I mean absolutely terrible, their record was 8-8. They broke even. Okay, cool. But in this 3-4 base D, they happen to be 30th in the league. 30th in the league when it came to total yards allowed. And then to top that off, this past year, I think they only had 8 interceptions in 2016. They had 17 interceptions in 2015, and then they had a subpar, piss poor 12 interceptions in 2014. I'm really hoping that the new guy, Greg Williams, can come over from San Diego and help out. He was ranked 3rd in the league last year as far as interceptions. But, if things change, you go to a different climate, you work in a different system, different culture, you never know what's going to happen there in a new system. But, he's got some help. He's got TJ Green. TJ Green's got the prototypical size for safety. He didn't do much last year, but let's just hope that, things turn around this year. Mike Adams is now a Panther. He didn't really do much for the secondary this past year with only 2 interceptions. I think the unit just overall needs help, and they need Greg Williams. Hopefully Greg Williams can teach these guys a discipline, get their schemes down correctly, make sure everybody's in the right spaces, boxes checks, I's dotted, T's crossed, all that goodness as far as the secondary is concerned. Because 30th overall in defense 2016 is just, it's not called for. That usually gets a coach pretty much his head cut off. My boy Dito Fernando Richards, I'm calling you out, bro. Is your boy gonna get fired this year? I know you praying that he does, but is this the year? Seriously, you think is this the year that Chuck Pagano gets gone? Or do they have a full-on turnaround? It's on you. This segment was basically made simply for you, buddy. So if you're listening, I hope that you have some perspective on this and provide something into the comments or into the text box or wherever you happen to see this. Provide that reply, that feedback, because we need that feedback on this particular subject. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on, folks. We're going to move on to another team that has a couple of issues with their secondary. And I'm trying to be short with this because I don't want to hold y'all on today. I know y'all got stuff to do. Y'all got lives to plan, family to be with. You got to handle that balance. got to have that right balance. As my chief said, strike the right balance or things go wrong. Definitely. All right, anyway, moving on to the Eagles situation there. They have a big issue that they addressed in the draft, and that was cornerback. They picked up two of these free safeties, two cornerbacks. And I got notes here because, there's a lot of stuff that been remembered here, so, hey, sue me. Whatever. Anyway, we're going through, they picked up Sidney Jones out of Washington, and they picked up Rasul Douglas. Sorry if I chopped your name up, buddy. From West Virginia. And they picked up a safety and a defensive tackle in the draft. So it was mostly defensive concentrated. What we're talking about, what they really improved was in the free agency. I think they got one of the better wide receiver cores now because of free agency. And I'm not saying because of Torrey Smith, because we know Torrey Smith is probably like a 3-route guy who's pretty much trash, who can take a top off a defense, but can't do anything else to save his life. So when it comes to that portion, yes, okay, Torrey's not the bomb. But they did bring in another guy by the name of Alshon Jeffrey. And the dude was beasting in Chicago, when it was the Twin Towers over there with him and Brandon Marshall. And he still has some good stats last year. So I think the guy is going to show up pretty big with Carson Wentz as his quarterback. So let's look at the other guy who I think is underrated, Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews is probably one of those guys who plays when nobody else is playing. He's playing lights out, even though everybody else ain't playing. He knows how to turn it up. He's a big body guy who's not scared. He's not scared to go across the middle. So you got two big body guys who aren't scared to go across the middle. And then you got to burn on the outside. I think this offense can move the chains. I think with a decent ground game, they're going to be just fine. And I think with that offensive line, I think it's a broke man's Dallas type of line, because they have some guys that they got Lane Johnson. They have an older guy who has a lot of experience in Alan Barbary. Hopefully I didn't chop your name. Yeah, I chopped that up. So what? All right. But yes, he's old. He's long in the tooth. I think he's 12 years or whatever. But he's 32 years old. The guy has a lot of experience, so he can teach the young guys. But other than that, he's kind of old. He's just a short-term solution. So they're going to need to go into the draft next year and probably pick up that left guard or the right guard or whatever position this guy plays, because I obviously I didn't do my homework on it. Anywho, the guy he's a starter over there. I think he's a right guard. But the line is straight. I believe that this team has a lot to offer in that NFC East. And Dallas, y'all better watch out, because the Eagles starting to get their stuff together. They starting to get their act together, and y'all can't sit there and ride all last year like you do. You ride everything you do, all the accomplishments as far as the History Channel. Yes, we know you got 5 rings, but can you get past the first round of playoffs? Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the fun stuff. I got some homework for you guys. Best celebration dances as far as groups and individual with props. What are they? Tell me what they are and leave them in the feed. Because I believe with this new rule coming back, Ocho Cinco might actually come out of retirement. It's going to be a little crazy. But my 3 are the electric slide. I think that's going to be brought back. You remember how you watched the replacements and how they were doing the electric slide in jail? And hopefully they do it in the end zone. The whole team busts out and does the electric slide in the end zone. Hopefully there's no political dances or anything like that ticks off anybody or brings up politics, because this is football. Forget politics. Anyway, we got the grenade dance. Moving on to the grenade dance. I don't know if y'all seen Any Given Sunday, where they just toss a grenade and everybody just falls on out. And then there's the guy who does the rodeo riding with the football. He's hands flipping in the air, going crazy, whatever. I want to see that kind of stuff. Bring the fun back to the league. Thank you, Roger Goodell, for bringing the fun back to football. Or have somebody playing golf with the pylon and the football. I want to see just fun dances. Just bring all the fun back, because that's what we've been missing. People have been getting penalized for jumping in Salvation Army bowls. I love that type of stuff. It's pretty great. And then, we got all these other politics around football. Don't worry about all that. I want to see the fun brought back with the touchdown dances, with the crazy. I want to see people signing shirts and everything else. Just bringing the fun back for the fans. And so what if there's a small little FedEx penalty for them? It's going to charity anyway. Let them have fun, Raj. Gotta believe it. That's it for the show, folks. This is Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours. Thanks for listening to the Couch Ride Report podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Lockett, and I think you should follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You got to follow my boy Damien's podcast. That's probably him texting right there. Get at us. We definitely coming back. I have another episode for you in the next couple of days. Stay tuned, and we out.